strength is technology going back 100 years.
What I really love is the style and all the color options.
With AO Smith water heaters, I get the longest warranty and I save on electricity year after year.
That's it. That's all there is to it. Just fit it and forget it.
कलाम, वही बाथरूम की रेस, वही दादी की घंटी और मक्खन वाले वही आलू के पराठे। रात की वो रंगरेलियां भुलाने में सुबह की हर चीज काम आएगी और जिंदगी ऐसे चलती रहेगी मानो कभी कुछ हुआ ही नहीं। HIV के लक्षण सामने आने में कई साल लग सकते हैं। अगर आपने किसी के साथ बिना कॉन्डोम के यौन संबंध रखे हैं या सुई से नशा किया है तो ICTC में आज ही HIV टेस्ट करवाएं। जरूरत पड़ने पर सलाह और दवाई से आप सामान्य जिंदगी जी सकते हैं।
Presenting the new Sangyong Rexton by Mahindra. Indulge yourself.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Controversies that have happened of late. For instance, the story of the Indian Mujahideen being linked to 2002, that's most recent of them all. Many of them have originated on social media platforms, which is why perhaps the Congress has today concluded a 2-day media conclave to train their people. The BJP is perhaps a step ahead with huge teams to tackle strategies online and on TV. But here's what our audience on Agenda is divided on today. Is this all a bit too much? Is the real message of Netas getting lost in the medium? And this side of the audience, they all think that it is. But this side, of course, they think that this is what 21st century politics is all about. That's what we're going to ask our pundits as well. Parties going overboard with their focus on media. Let me just introduce our pundits this evening. We have Ajay Kumar saying yes, he's an MP from Jharkhand. Satyavat Chaturvedi is in studio. He says no of the Congress party, senior leader of the Congress party. And Jay Panda is striking a balance. He is senior leader MP of the BJD. Before we go to our pundits, let's take a look first at how the media has become priority number one for at least the big two political parties.
In this country, rebellion tactics going on here.
No, I won't say that.
I would challenge, not accept it. Go ahead. If all of India was criminal-minded, just let me finish, please. BJP would have 500 seats for all times to come. Here is the chief minister.
You've seen them fighting on TV and also on cyberspace. Now the battle for power in 2014 has truly gone multimedia. The BJP has assigned senior leaders to handle campaigns using WhatsApp and Twitter. MP and TV studio favourite Piyush Goyal is in charge. Their stars like Narendra Modi have already occupied platforms like Google Hangout, among others, in the online space. The Congress is playing catch-up in its 2-day conclave with Chief Communication in charge Ajay Makhan briefing 250 spokespersons. From preparing for a press conference to do's and don'ts of TV and social media, they are learning it all.
आज अगर हम देखें 8 करोड़ के करीब लोग जो है सोशल मीडिया पे एक्टिव हैं हमारे देश में.
While a recent study done by Internet and Mobile Association of India backed the theory about growing influence of social media and communication in the next elections, veteran leaders derided the emphasis by the two main parties.
देखिए यहाँ दोनों पार्टी के बीच में कब्बाली हो रही लेकिन गलत बात के लिए हो रही जो असली सवाल है उनको इग्नोर करने के लिए
For both the Congress and the BJP, the medium has become as important as the message, which is why the stress on communication strategies. But in the process of virtual one-upmanship, are real issues being forgotten? In New Delhi with Sunetra Chaudhary, Ketki Angre for NDTV.
So that brings us to our talking point this evening. We're asking three big questions. The first one, do old-style netas need to learn new tricks? For that, first I'll go to our first Pandit over here in studio. Satyavrata Chaturvedi, you're someone who's not on Twitter. Your party now saying that this is how it is. 2 days having all the top spokesperson there, training them. Do you think it's a bit overboard?
No, it's not. What is politics all about? Politics is of the people, by the people, for the people. And it is inseparable ingredient of politics to communicate with the people, to provide information to the people. The decision would be theirs. But to arrive at a decision or conclusion, the people need information. They need to be communicated with. And therefore, whatever medium of communication is available at a given point in time must be used and utilized to the optimum.
Mm-hmm.
A few years back, we had only newspapers, which used to be a medium of providing information or sending messages to the people. But thereafter, then you had All India Radio, then you had the television, and now you have the whole network and variety of social media technology available. Once this technology is available, why not use it? Why not? If we can use this for our personal communication, if we can use it for business communication.
You don't think the message is getting lost in the medium?
I don't know. I'm surprised at listening to somebody saying that the real message is getting lost. We are not talking about message. We are talking about medium. What will the medium carry? The message.
Okay.
And the message would be relating to the people's concerns, their development, their problems, and the solution thereof. I mean, that is what this medium will be used for.
Okay, so Ajay Kumar, why is it, Satyavrata Chaturvedi says this is a new thing and this has to be used. So why do you think that the other political parties are going overboard?
Sunetra, for one reason is that I'm not saying that the medium is bad, but as Twitter as a medium, the immediate reactions, whether it's Mr. Shakil Ahmed or all the people putting out their, the national policy thoughts on 5 seconds of fame. I mean, the whole thing is, the idea is to give an immediate reaction and response, and I don't think the political process or the things are important issues can be just, you keep giving your opinions on real-time basis, on a knee-jerk reaction basis. So I think the medium is a decent medium, I think, but the issue is in the way we do it. Take an example, Facebook. Now, we can use Facebook to get in my constituency, a lot of people write their complaints on the Facebook. They send issues which trouble them. There are questions which we put up, or they ask, can you raise these questions? So those are sensible stuff. But I think the way everybody's going overboard, everybody's got an opinion, and they want to do an instant, national policy decision, and that's where it loses credibility. I think, first of all, if it's an important, Twitter is an important medium, I can understand for national calamities. Right? But you can't discuss, what you call the secular fabric, or what is your perspective on education policy, and having, all leaders giving their comments on two-line basis on what should be the medical admission criteria. Everybody wants to give their opinion on each and everything. And second is the seriousness of the issue, I think. How much are you thinking? So I'm saying that, look, I think we're going overboard. And the other issue which I definitely feel is that in my constituency, like Jamshedpur, we are half urban and half rural.
True.
So you need other forms of one of the most important, interesting methods which I see is they don't talk about Facebook and Twitter, but they ask me that, our website should be much more informative.
Okay.
They want the website to contain more information.
I want to interrupt you there and actually go across to Jay Panda, who's taking quite a middle line on this between your for and against on this motion. Jay Panda, you're also like Ajay Kumar, you're also from a rural kind of constituency, Kendrapara, and that's where you were during the day as well. Do you think that perhaps the big two parties are just going too much overboard on their media onslaught?
You know, let me give a business analogy, and the analogy is this. If you have a good product, you can't just leave it at that. You need to also market it. But if you have a product that's neglected and it's just shabby, no matter how much you market it, that's not going to compensate for the quality of the product. So the analogy for politics is this. Those of us who are in active politics, we need to also pay attention to the basics. And the basics for somebody like me who's a Lok Sabha MP is A, to pay attention to my constituency and also to pay attention to my work in Parliament. So I, on average, spend 2 weeks every month visiting my constituency. And I also pay attention to my work in Parliament, introducing private members' bills, taking up issues of national importance and so on. And I don't think there is any contradiction in my being active in social media as well. I'm active on both Facebook and Twitter. And there's nothing wrong in that. But the problem I see is when I see this, the question that you are asking today is whether parties are going overboard. I see this phenomenal emphasis on how to get the message out without an equal focus on getting the product right. True. On, there I see a disconnect. And that is why I think it's a bit overstated. But in no way am I criticizing that parties ought to be on social media, because this is a growing platform. Today it is a certain percentage of the population. In the next 5 years it's going to be a much larger percentage of the population.
Yes.
So political
and Jay Panda,
parties do
actually
need to be on social media.
Your concern is reflected among a lot of students here as well. You wanted to say something similar, didn't you?
Yeah, my point of view is that if these parties want to go on social media, I think that what kind of people are they targeting? What percentage of youth, if they say, is active on social media? And what is the kind of message that they want to deliver through these social media websites? Are they clear about that?
Mr. Chaturvedi, do you want to take
Absolutely. That? She has a very valid question, and I appreciate this. Factually, we're little focused on just the media aspect. I never said, and I will never say, that one-to-one contact or the importance of that will ever get reduced. Because a large chunk of the population of this country doesn't go on media. It doesn't go on Twitter. It doesn't see the Facebook. They don't have the technology. They don't have the apparatus. So, I mean, that importance is not lost. But those who can avail this facility, I mean, why not reach them in real time? See, so therefore, if the technology is available, if the real-time conversation or real-time communication is possible, why should we not use it? That's all.
Okay. Ajay
when it comes to what Ajay said,
yeah,
or what my friend Jay said, I mean, I entirely agree with what Jay said. But I have little reservation on what Ajay said. Now, were it not for this communication or this technology available, were we talking to them? Would have been possible for us to talk to them from Ranchi or from places like those?
I think
no, we're having a real-time conversation with them sitting here in Delhi. Now, is it an impediment or an asset?
Yeah.
That is what we are focusing on.
Ajay, in fact, there's somebody else over here as well who agrees with what Satyavrat Chaturvedi is saying. And what was the point you want to make?
Sir, I think that if there are a lot of youth and urban middle class in the social networking sites, so why not tap that voters? I know there's no time to do great things in this 1 year, so why not market whatever you have done already? So,
Ajay, do you want to take that?
Surendra, first of all, I agree with what Satyavati has said, is that I'm on Skype from Jamshedpur, and thanks to you guys, we're able to get my... But messages on immediate react. So the issue is, one is to score points over each other. You've seen these repeated tweets on... so one is... Anyway, we do adequate, amount of effort. We do not undermining each other remarkably well. But what's now happened is that the whole Twitter world is on issues which fundamentally should not be even in which the country should be focusing on. You know, it's on making allegations and everything else, and not putting the feet to the fire and focusing on issues which are important. So I'm saying the Facebook and Twitter are decent mediums, but the way we are using it, like everything else, we will bring it to discredit, because then it will become. And then the other danger is that we start scoring political points. You know, start making allegations online, unfounded allegations, and so there is a great deal of responsibility which is also attached.
Okay.
Using this technology platform like Facebook. Listen,
Ajay, I want to interrupt you there. And just bring in our second talking point on how much. In fact, there was a recent study about how many constituencies got affected by all these campaigns, and only 164. So the question is, does media influence the vote? And perhaps that's something you wanted to say as well.
I would like to ask, the media that you are using for campaigning isn't the same media which is giving the scams that are taking place. This is the same media that is transferring that information also. So do you think that this is going, the campaign will be that effective? Because the youth that you're trying to target, they already know what's happening. There are certain scams which the youth doesn't agree with. They're aggressive, they're angry. So
see, I said earlier, this is a medium whereby information is imparted to people. Now, information means information on both sides. It doesn't mean only one-way channel. Information which would be pro, information that would be anti. So all sorts of information will reach and arrive at your place. You have to analyze that information and take a decision of yours. You got to form your own opinion about political issues, about what the government has performed like. Now, in fact, when somebody was just now mentioning that instead of hyping on media and reaching the people, the government should have focused on performance side. Our weakness on the contrary is fact that we have performed much better than what we have been able to show.
Okay.
So what our bottleneck was, we are unable to reach the people and tell them exactly how much we have been able to do.
Jay Panda, would you agree with that?
And that is why we think that this media would be of a great use.
Jay Panda, would you want to come in here?
Well, I obviously disagree with him because we have differences politically. Personally, I like him, but our parties are on opposite sides. I think in this day and age, if you have a solid product, if you have solid achievements, it's not very difficult to communicate that, because there are so many platforms, so many media, not just social media. So if somebody claims that they have got a great product but they are not able to get it marketed, I don't agree with that. But that's a different issue. I do agree with something that Satyavart said, is that unlike other platforms which are one-way communication, social media is many to many. It's not just politicians talking to the public also talks back. You know what that means? That means something very important. It does not give the opportunity to politicians to say something very glib and get away with it.
Okay.
You can say something glib on television and there will be no response to it. You can write a glib something to newspapers and can get away with it. But if you say something glib that is untrue on social media,
do you think it will actually affect election results?
You will get a huge response that will correct you.
Do you think it will affect election results?
I have written a column on that statistic that you pointed out, about 160 urban constituencies which will be impacted by social media. My conclusion is as follows. I think social media and the internet will make its presence felt in the coming election, but it will not be a game changer for at least one or two more elections.
That's right. And perhaps that's why a lot of the people here seem to have questions about its impact. You really question the fact that, you really think they're going overboard, aren't they?
Yes, I perfectly believe that they're going overboard. First of all, good evening to you, sir. But the thing is, yes, fine, agreed that you are trying to spread awareness through social media, but the youth of this nation really needs results. Okay, fine, you are going to give assurances through the media, but the youth of this nation actually demands result. I agreed with my fellow friend over here what she said, and I want to ask you another question is it really a follow-up strategy? Because some other political parties have already been invested or initialized these kinds of...
I think what he's trying to ask is, are you all, because, the whole BJP has been much quicker that way on. So is Congress is doing a follow-up act, right?
So, in fact, we are not following up anything. We know that we are going to have elections in 4 states in the month of November. There's a couple of months later. Then we're going to have, in a few months ahead, we're going to have elections in 2014, the Lok Sabha elections. Now, this is the time when we must see as to how do we communicate to the people. Let me answer my friend Panda. I agree there are multiple fora and the multiple platforms from where the communication goes on. I do not say that this is going to be the only communication platform that we are going to use. All those conventional platforms which have been in use will still remain in use. In addition to those platforms, we will be using this platform as well to reach the younger generation, which is very much savvy
perhaps
with
that's
this.
a good time to...
Let me answer him. Fine. You say that because BJP is doing, so the Congress is following it up? No. I'm sorry. If an instrument is available, it will be used by BJP, it will be used by Congress, it will be tomorrow put in use by other political parties as well.
Okay, I think it's a good time to bring in our third talking point, which I want to put to all our politicians over here, is whether social media is replacing the election rally or press conferences.
No.
Ajay Kumar, do you think that perhaps politicians are using this not perhaps to address their people, their constituents, but journalists and spread the buzz?
You know, I think it's pretty, what we call, impossible to believe that, and I'm wrong also for a political person to believe that the social media is the way in which, because like Jay and Satyavedi Saab and everybody would agree that people want to be seen. They want to see their MLA. They want to see their member of parliament. You need to go and meet out. You need to reach out. It's pretty touchy and feely in the constituency also, because they need to see you. Secondly, you're accountable. That's where the rubber meets the road. You need to say they can challenge you. They can say that, like I'm in my constituency right now, and they ask you that, listen, this road is, we have complained to you about this road, and you've not asked for an inquiry to be instituted. So they expect you to be seen. So I think
exactly, which is why, let me take this to Jay Panda as well. Jay, do you think that perhaps, because Netas, as you said, all of you realize that it won't kind of compensate for actual meeting and, face-to-face interaction. Do you think they're actually just getting to the media and creating a buzz with the media?
Well, it does serve a very useful purpose, because in the old days, like you yourself were pointing out, press conferences are cumbersome to organize and they have logistics involved. Whereas if you have a very large connected base on social media, you can get your message out on a routine basis and maybe just rely on press conferences for very big events. So yes, it is partially compensating for some of that, and it provides a level playing field. Press conferences are usually held by very big personalities and parties with lots of logistics. But you could be somebody who's just an up-and-comer, and yet if you're very active on social media, you can make your message known and you can spread your message better.
Okay.
But any
Jay,
politician
one second,
who thinks
someone has
he
a
or
question.
she can replace...
Go ahead with your question.
Sir, do you not believe that media has actually complemented the traditional methods of election campaigns? Because all this generation which is sitting here, we are not going to go to a rally, but we are certainly going to go online on Facebook and Twitter. So this is a complementary relationship. Those who are actually standing against it, their opinions are based because of they have what they have seen on social media. They are sitting here and they are able to question the leaders because they are sitting on social media. It is complementary. You cannot say that it is actually conflictory to the topic.
Jay, do you want to comment?
No, Suritra,
Yes, I agree with you. It is complementary. And obviously a lot of a message can be spread without going to rallies. But rallies do form a purpose, do serve a purpose, and even then social media is complementary. You saw after that rape in Delhi and after some other issues which agitated our younger friends, social media was a tool to actually organize rallies. And nothing can send a message across to the government and to politicians like 10,000 people gathering on a street.
Yes.
So, rallies aren't going to be completely passé. And I think social media and rallies will complement each other.
And I can hear Satyaved Chaturvedi completely agreeing with you. A lot of people had many more questions for the traditional politicians as well and the way they conducted, but unfortunately we're completely out of time. If you want to join the audience, of course, log on to ndtv.com/agenda. You can write in to us. You can be part of the audience. Thanks very much to my guests, Ajay Kumar, Jay Panda, Satyaved Chaturvedi, and to the audience over here. That's it on the agenda. We'll be back again tomorrow. Do join us then. Goodbye.
सेहत की आवाज देता है पानी का डॉक्टर एक्वागार्ड, जिसकी सबसे एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी देती है धरती का सबसे सेहतमंद पानी।
क्या आपके पानी में है सेहत की आवाज?
पानी का डॉक्टर एक्वागार्ड।
टक 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 टक।
Imagination begins. LG Optimus G Pro.
हम तो भी हेल्थी हैं।
सिर्फ हेल्दी में ही खुश? क्यों ना हेल्दीएस्ट बने?
Fortune Rice Bran Health. 100% rice bran oil, 100% health.